Hello, everyone. My name is Andrea Camargo, and I'm here to talk about regenerating trust through blockchain and Web3. So, first, I'm going to talk about my story, like who am I, why I'm here, why I'm interested in blockchain, Web3, and regeneration. Then, we're going to talk about what is regeneration, and afterwards, I'm going to give you a glimpse of the promise of blockchain and Web3 in terms of carbon credits or, you know, how to balance climate change and our footprint on Earth. So, well, my story begins when I was a very little girl and I absolutely knew what I was going to study, which was veterinary medicine. I love animals. I'm very, very compassionate towards them. I just find them very cute. Like they're all very cute. I love them. And that's why decided to study medicine to take care of animals and all kinds of animals, not just pets. So during my career, um, I encountered several things that I was not expecting at all. So first, I didn't know much about animal agriculture, to be honest. I just thought the cows were happy, and after a while, they will take them to the slaughterhouse because we needed protein, right? We need to eat them. But during my career, I realized that we eat animals um, that are being produced in a very industrialized way. Like, I never thought reproduction of animals would be the way it is, which is like a whole other concept I'm not going to talk about. But if you think about it, to produce more than 80 billion land animals for us to eat every year, we need a lot of resources. And we need a lot of practices to make this, possible. So I kind of learned everything because apparently veterinarians not only take care of pets, but most of us take care of the animals we eat. So I had to deal, and it was kind of hard, but I had to go to a slaughterhouse and see how the process was and everything. So that got me to question myself and my habits and my social and cultural norms like nothing ever before. And so I realized that I was not being aligned with my principles and values and actions. Because my principles and values, on one hand, were mostly like love and compassion towards animals and everyone. But then my actions were not reflecting that because I was eating a dead animal. And I thought I needed the protein. So I started to do a lot of research about it and realized animal protein is not actually necessary to our health. It actually causes a lot of harm because if you eat a lot of animal protein, your body is not gonna be able to process it like at all. Usually, when you eat meat, that will stay in your digestive system for about 8 days. But if you eat plants, it will stay in your digestive system less than 1 day. So there are a lot of implications on eating animals in our health. One of those is high cholesterol. We are animals, we produce our own cholesterol. But if we take a lot of cholesterol and we eat a lot of that, our cholesterol increases and we have heart disease and we have diabetes. And these are the most um, common diseases on earth. It's not even COVID. So I was saying that it was not only cruel, it was unhealthy to eat animals. But then I started to realize when I saw like how the farms worked that it was not sustainable either and not at all efficient because to produce 1 pound of beef you need around 100 pounds of plants or feed. It could be corn, it could be soy, usually genetically modified. Because, I mean, the animals we eat, they're not giving natural food. It's everything is highly industrialized. So think about this. 10,000 years ago, humans made 1% of the biomass, and nature and wild animals made 99% of the biomass. Today, humans and the animals we own as property are 98% of the biomass, and only 2% ends up to be natural biomass. This is crazy. If we think about it, the primary cause of loss of a species and habitat destruction is caused by animal agriculture. 91% of rainforests has been destroyed to produce genetically modified organisms full of chemicals that then we feed to the animals that we eat. So a lot of things are not working in this whole system, right? And on the top of it, I was learning that 80% of antibiotics are used by veterinarians to give them to animals so that they can increase their weight much faster. So this was not what I was expecting when I started studying veterinary medicine. And I was doing a lot of research in vaccine development, and I decided to switch towards the business side because I figured that if I could create a big impact on Earth, it had to be a business because it's very, very hard to change people's mind and behaviors and social and cultural norms. But if you can make a sustainable um, business that tackles behavior and environment, then I could have a great impact on that. So I decided to come to the United States and do a master's degree in international business. Now I'm doing my second master's degree on entrepreneurship and innovation. And I'm super happy with this because I feel like now I have the tools to expand all this knowledge and make awareness about how can we live more sustainable, not only in our personal lives but in the business level, right? um, Now let's talk about regeneration because this concept is very new. Not everyone knows it. I actually knew it very recently. One of my electives, I took it in Dubai, and I met Mark Fredericks, which is the founder of Local to Local, a company in Netherlands. And he explained to me what regeneration is and the potential that regeneration has, not only to our bodies, but to the environment and to our social systems. So, just to define regeneration, it's basically putting life at the center of every action and decision. And it applies to all life, not only human life, you know, grassland, farms, insects, forests, fish, wetlands, coastlands, and oceans. And it also applies to communities, it applies to schools, to commerce, and to governments. Sorry about that. So, regeneration creates, it builds, it heals. And it's what nature has always been doing, regenerating itself. Our cells regenerate themselves. The soil can regenerate itself. And we are life. And we should take care of life in all of its forms. Why this concept is so important to me and hopefully to all of you, because it not only tackles climate change, but it also makes you think about your actions. Are my actions empowering life and love, or are my actions empowering other things? The magic of blockchain technology and Web3 is basically that we are connecting each other through a decentralized network to exchange value and create trust, right? This is the whole concept that has revolutionized many industries, and it's going to revolutionize many more industries. And at the end, it's not about the technology, but more about ourselves. And I want to bring carbon credits to all this talk because I think there's a great opportunity um, to empower governments and corporations to adopt new regulations that actually work. Why? Because if you think about it, what governments are trying to do is that they all try to reduce emissions by telling these industries you cannot produce more emissions than this amount. And so the industries and the companies, what they do is that they buy carbon credits to balance out this accounting principle of net zero, right? But guess what? Only 2% of those carbon credits actually work, actually are doing what it needs to be done in order to get to net zero. It's crazy, but yeah, only around 2% is effective. Why? I mean, it's very difficult to verify. They are very complex. It's very difficult to measure the impact of these carbon credits. And a lot of companies, what they do is that they greenwash their brands. So, oh, we are carbon net zero. We don't have emissions because we buy carbon credits. But actually, these carbon credits they're buying, they're not helping at all. They're just paperless transactions that have nothing to do with creating a balanced ecosystem. So, as it is very difficult to verify, blockchain can bring a lot of benefits in this because through blockchain technology, we can actually measure not only the carbon emissions, but the carbon offsets that regenerative practices produce. So, for example, having land, okay, not maybe animal agriculture, but having land that is full of forests is actually very good to retain that carbon from the atmosphere to the earth. There are many ways in regenerative agriculture that we can make this much more effective, and we can make this in a industry level. But um, the problem is right now that first we don't really know what the consequences are for us to eat products that are being unsustainably produced. Not only meat and fish and dairy, but also there are many veggies and plant-based foods that have a lot of chemicals, a lot of pesticides, and they're actually killing our microbiome inside our bodies. So imagine this. What if we, through the products we buy and through the different tokens we exchange, a royalty will go to regenerative projects so that we can regenerate our land and our ecosystems. Imagine if the government and all the policies are evolved in a way using blockchain technology that every penny spent, a percentage of that will go directly to fund or empower different regeneration projects. This will completely shift our economy and our way to tackle climate change. It will make it much more effective. It will make it accessible to everyone. And it would actually change our behavior, because if we know an NFT or a digital asset or a physical asset backed by its digital copy has in their smart contract a way of linking those royalties or that percentage that we bought directly with a regenerative project, then it's just a matter of time that we're going to solve this climate crisis. And I empower you all right now to think about your daily habits, to think about not only what the government is doing, what are you doing for your own health, for your planet, and for the next generations that will come. Being net zero, it's not enough. And just letting governments and companies take care of that, I think it's not enough. It's good that we have some tools, but what you do in your daily life, try to make it regenerative. Try to choose life and love and empower your communities to do this as well. Um, Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I hope to meet you all soon. Bye.